Hello, this is Joe83, and this is round 12 of AOR this season in F4, as usual, at Spa this round. And you can see on the weather there, it's going to be raining for the race, which is the first time it's rained this season in the race, enough for it to go to intermediates. Well, it probably will go to intermediates. It's going to rain halfway through and then be heavy rain by the end. So yeah, gave me a bit of a conundrum for quali because I like normally in the dry you'll qualify on super softs and it's an easy one stop on two mediums or softs if you can manage that. But yeah, wet. Is it going to rain halfway through? I thought start on softs, try and take the softs to the wet to the rain, and see where it goes from there. Hopefully, it'll get me track position if people don't do that. So yeah, changing my setup now a little bit to sort it out for the wet weather. Just putting the wings up a little bit, and then putting the diff down to help out with the traction out of the traction zones, and then making the suspension a little less aggressive to help with stability, and again a little less aggressive in the actual anti-roll bars, and slightly higher ride height for stability. And lower brake pressure to help out with lock-in. But yeah, this is pretty much what I do every time it's raining. Just alter the setup a little bit to help out in the race, as you don't score points for quali. So I don't normally do that well in quali anyway, so I might as well compromise the setup for the race. And yeah, my plan was to go out on super softs at the start and then go out on softs at the end because it was going to be full dry in quali. So yeah, started going out on super softs. Not going to set a competitive time. I was going to back off just to get my eye on a bit, but then you can hear what Jeff is going to say as I leave the pits now on super soft tyres, what he's going to say to me.
Looks like rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. Engine fired, we're set.
Yeah, so rain's on its way in 5 minutes. So I had to do the quickest outlap you'll ever see and come flying back into the pits to put on soft tyres and go out again. So coming back into the pits now, obviously that's about 2 minutes later, and then had to do another outlap, and this is the end of my first flying lap on softs, where you can see it's not a great apex for the bus stop chicane, and coming down towards the line, it's already slower than the whole time of flying Rosie. It's going to be a 44.5, which is not good at all really. It's left me in sixth at the minute, but we're going to go straight for another lap. It's my best lap in quali. Hitting turn 1 apex nicely, trying to get good traction over the curve a little bit, but already a tenth and a half down on previous laps, so it's not been the best start. But really all that matters is that I get a good lap in, because obviously it doesn't the track position isn't that important. It's just get a lap in on softs and try and do as well as possible. So yeah, open DRS now through Rouge and Radion was fine on the wheel. It's very easy, so that's nice compared to previous years where I've had to use the pad. But now braking just after on the meter board, puts it down to fourth gear and switching it right and then left and then right again. Little lift in quali mode with correct setup and correct tyres. You can just about take that one flat, but not in my setup under softs. Turning in nice and early aggressively for the long right hander there. And we're already 2.5 tenths up. But missed the apex massively there and run a bit wide, but that lost me time, so no invalidation luckily. And I come in towards Puon, braking about 20 metres down to 6th gear, clipping the inside curve nicely, running out not over the curve there, and now pretty good run through there, keeping it in 7th gear for the engine braking. And it's actually started raining, you can see on the car. Yeah, that's not going to help at all. We're taking these few corners nicely, so the track's going to be pretty slippery now through the last few corners. Down to 3rd gear for stand below. Pretty nicely done there, and I'll try to keep it as flat as possible. We do keep it flat through the fast right hander there, down towards the Blanchimont, and try to take this as easy flat in the dry, but in the wet, let's see. I'm on the grass a little bit on the entry to Blanchimont, so yeah, pretty standardly dry there and nice and flat out, and now braking on trim meter board for the bus stop chicane, 2nd gear, clipping the inside curve nicely, keeping the car straight and turning in for the last corner, getting good traction out onto the line, opening DRS. And it's going to be a half-second improvement up to a 44 dead, which isn't bad. That's left me in 5th at the minute, and as it was raining, that's probably going to leave me about there as well. So yeah, 6th on the grid, but actually the pole man flying Rosie has got a 5-place penalty, so it's going to leave me 5th, just behind the 4 suspect. Yeah, so that's pretty good. 2nd place out of the soft run as well, so that's very good. Leaving me in good stead for the race. So you can see that's the weather there. It's going to be raining for the last 3 clouds, so it's about halfway through it's going to start raining, and obviously just trying to make the right course to go into Inters when it's right. But now the 5 lights coming on for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's an extremely long hole, but we're away at last, and it's a decent start, it looks like. The 4th suspect got a better start than me, but no one else is going near me, but I've broken a bit too late there, and yeah, that's not ideal at all. I've completely taken out the 4th suspect into turn 1, which was not my intention. But luckily I've got no damage, and unfortunately it did spin him out, but I've lost a lot of time to 4th now. But yeah, I obviously messaged him after the race and apologised, but he said that he wasn't going to take it to stewards because his race was even worse, got even worse from that place. So I don't know why I didn't take it to the stewards. If he did, I would have got a penalty for sure. But yeah, thank you for that. And that's left me battling the Pickless for 5th at the minute, and 4th gear for the right-hander there. A little bit of contact, but very close racing between me and Pickless, who seem to be racing every week at the minute. For the we have very similar pace, I think. And Solid Cabbages come out of nowhere and taken Pickless for 6th. I think this is probably the one of the highest positions they've been all season, to be honest. Net position at least. Now going down to No Name again, just about ahead of Solid Cabbages. But you might be able to see I put my front wing up to 4 for the wet part of the race, but I forgot that you can actually do that in the MFD. So yeah, I had 4 or 5 wings for the dry part of the race, which left me a sitting duck on the straights. But it was actually pretty good for the middle sector, so hopefully I can pull away from Solid Cabbages, because if he's near me with the slipstream, especially with DRS, he's just going to drive straight past me on the straights. But on lap 4, Pickless has got past Solid Cabbages again, and Extreme's actually in the pits already, so that's pretty early. But then obviously he doesn't think he's going to get to the wet part on the super softs, so he's going to pit, but that's put me in 4th place. Pickless is just behind me still, and the 2 leaders are Ben, and I think that is Ludemir in 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, and Flying Rosie in 3rd on super softs. Ben's on softs, and the other 2 are on super softs, so hopefully they'll have to pit, and that'll leave me in a net 2nd place, but we'll have to wait and see. Then I'm going towards Eau Rouge and Radion, keeping it in 7th for the straight line speed, and then shifting up to 8th on the top of Radion there, and Pickless is still behind me, but by quite a big way. But obviously my wings means that I'm really not going to straight line speed at all, and I'm going to have to go defensive here, and Pickless is going to brake pretty late, but not late enough, and I hold that position for now. But yeah, the wings really weren't good on the straights at all, but as I said, the Pickless still very close, going to go defensive again into the next corner. 3rd gear, it should be an easy defence here, because you can't really swing around all the way around the outside there unless you're an absolute driving legend. So yeah, he doesn't do that, and going down towards the Puon now, staying just behind me now. Just later that lap actually, still at 5, I've got mass understeer through the first Stavalo, and after his 2nd Stavalo, pretty good run there, missed the apex slightly, but that's given Pickless a good chance, and with the higher straight line speed that he's running, he's going to have a chance into Blanchimon. He's going to swing it to the outside, is he? Yes, he's going to think about it. I've got to leave him space on the outside, going to lift off because I don't want to crash, and he's actually run off the track there, so he's going to give that position back as yeah, fair enough. So yeah, run off the track to make that move, but then had to give it back. So going through the bus stop chicane, I'm still in 4th place. A little bit of oversteer and exit, as that is pretty poor traction. So giving a little weave to say, like, I imagine to say sorry or whatever. So I give him a little weave back. I see him and Ethan do that quite a lot in their videos, so I thought I might as well do it as well. And now going down towards Eau Rouge again, and we've got a pretty good traction there. So he shouldn't have a chance into the at the end of the Camel Straight. No, he doesn't. So 2 laps later now, and Pickless still just behind. Going down towards out of the source, down towards Eau Rouge again, and he's pretty close this time. He's going to have DRS. It's got very dark, you can see it at the same time. So yeah, it probably will start raining pretty soon. So Pickless is going to have a chance here with my high wings. He's going to be in the slipstream and DRS, definitely. And I put no ERS because there's no point fighting really. He's going to have the advantage. So he goes past me down towards the Lecom chicane, I think it's called, and now he's taking that position pretty easily, but we are 3rd at the minute because I think Ludemir must have pitted. So, well, he's 3rd now, I was 3rd, down to 4th. But yeah, Ben is still winning with Flying Rosie still holding on to those super softs on lap 7. So he's doing pretty well to make the tyres last there. And now just the end of the next lap, it's coming to lap 9. You can see it's dry at the start of the lap. Completely on the chassis, there's no raindrops at all. And yeah, from my previous history on the F1 games, I thought that the crossover points are always really long, especially when it's especially as the clouds were like 3rd, 4th, and 5th cloud. The last 3 clouds basically were wet on the weather dial at the start. So I thought, oh, it won't be wet enough for inters until like lap 12 or 13. But yeah, you can see it is raining on lap 9 now, and yeah, I'm struggling loads for grip already, which is not ideal. Pickless is also just ahead still, and Summer Gymnast quite a way behind, so we've got a pretty comfortable gap, but locking up every tyre into every corner at the minute, it seems. And now coming through 2nd Stavalo, 5 seconds down on the previous lap. That's how much I'm struggling. Loads of oversteer, just about holding it. And DRS is already disabled. So at the start of the lap, it wasn't even raining. And now DRS is disabled and it's time for inters. So yeah, that was a very quick crossover point. But I'm going to be into the pits this lap, lifting quite a lot through Blanchimon to make sure I don't crash. And now coming down towards the bus stop chicane, braking way too late, locking up both front tyres, and the rears are locked up as well. Gone straight on at the bus stop chicane, luckily. Didn't hit a wall or anything, but going into the pits now, just about avoiding that outside wall there. That'd been pretty embarrassing, but yeah, going down into the pits now, loads of oversteer on the pit entry. Almost sped into the pits because the little board was there with the speed limit, but luckily it didn't speed, otherwise that would have been very stupid. And coming into the pits, intermediates going on for the Ferrari boys, and 2.7 seconds, pretty good stop time there. And Fine Rosie actually like stayed out on super softs and managed to drag a super soft to lap 9. Sorry for getting out siren, but I live next to a hospital, so yeah. But now going out the pits, and it's going to be still in 4th place with everyone's in the pits really. So yeah, pretty big gap still behind, but also quite a big gap ahead. But hopefully I can close in on Pitless. And the first time through Eau Rouge and Radion, it lifting massively in 7s just to make sure it spin off and crash. Yeah, pretty cautious through there, but now I can start attacking a little bit more. But also, this is literally my first competitive race in the wet on the wheel on F1 2018. It's not rained all season in AOR in the races, so yeah, this is a pretty big baptism of fire, or like, it's raining, so a bit ironic there, but yeah. It's not exactly the best way to have the first experience of the wet, but Pickler's gone wide at turn 1. I've got a pretty good run there after closing in. But yeah, traction on exit is not good, and he's going to have that position, like hold that position pretty easy there. And coming down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, it's going to keep it in 7th. Big lift, actually, a little bit oversteer as well in the dirty air, but managed to hold that pretty nicely. And now in the slipstream and overtake mode and rich mix, you can see not even gaining on him. This is how good the wings are. That was completely, like, I should have run lower wings, but yeah, barely even gaining along that massive straight, even though I had slipstream and overtake mode and rich mix. But yeah, that's it's given me it's much better for the middle sector, so I don't know if I would change it if I went back, if I could. But yeah, the wings were a bit of an issue on the straights, as I've said. But yeah, the rest of the lap was pretty fine. But now coming on to lap 13, keeping in 7th gear through Blanchimont, so I don't for the straight line speed advantage, and coming down towards the bus stop chicane, braking very late, locking up everything, almost hit the back of Pitless there. That would have been very, very nasty if that collision had happened. Just about avoided him, luckily. So yeah, that was a heart in mouth moment, to say the least, and managed to avoid him. Still in 4th, and now going down towards turn 1 once again, braking just below the 100-meter board, down to 2nd gear, and Pitless taking that pretty nicely there, so no chance of a move on the exit. And that's our Pitless to stay ahead in 3rd place for the time being. You see Southern Gymnast and Ludimer are still a long way behind, so it's a bit like this is the battle really for the rest of the race. And coming down towards Savalo now, Pitless has lost the back end on the curb there, so we're back in with a chance of taking 3rd place. And got a pretty good run here. Standard mix because I've not got much fuel left, so it's not really worth running rich through this small straight really. Overtake mode though, and through Blanchimont, trying to stay as close as possible. He's got a little bit of scope in exit, going to swing it to the outside, maybe think about the inside, but no, it's trying to stay on the outside. It's line up a switchback move. He's gone a little bit deep there in the first part of the bus stop. Try to keep it straight enough on the exits to the bus stop, but loads of oversteer, and that's that chance over really. So yeah, staying in 4th again, but now a few laps later, I think 1 lap later, into turn 1, Pitless has gone a little bit wide again, so I've got a pretty good exit, and that's allowed me to stay very close to him down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, trying to stay in the slipstream now through the left-hander, and then try and get a good run through here. Don't lose the back end. We do that pretty well there actually. Very good run through there, and much better run than Pitless. So alongside now pretty much, but unfortunately without the slipstream I'm definitely losing time on the straight, which is not good because of the wings, as I've said many times at this point. But yeah, going down towards the Lacombe chicane, it's going to be pretty standard and not making a move really. A bit of oversteer in the mid corner, but nothing to worry about, and Pitless is going to hold that position for now as well. So now coming on to the end of lap 17, I have locked up everything, got a bit of oversteer, and accidentally cut the bus stop and got a 10-second time penalty. So that was a bit excessive in my opinion. I did take that to the stewards, and it should get removed, hopefully, down to at least either a 3-second or just to a warning. So, but when Pitless has gone massively wide in turn 1 after that penalty in the last corner, Pitless has gone really wide, and that's me taking that position. And for the first time in the wet, I'm actually lead like ahead of Pitless properly now, but unfortunately through Eau Rouge and Radion, he's going to probably have the straight line speed advantage up the Camel straight. That was very close to losing it there through Radion, but tried to stay ahead of Pitless in 8th gear now. Rich mix, overtake mode, trying to use everything available, and Pitless is going to swing to the outside. Got to try and hold him off here, breaking at 100-meter board, and he's going to go try and swing it around the outside, but just about runs wide there, and that's my position for that, because obviously you can't hold the position after running off the track. And that's me into 3rd place properly now, so this is now a podium effectively, but yeah, not a long way to go. Still 4 laps, which around Spa is quite a while, and yeah, Pitless still is a threat with the straight line speed advantage that he's got over me. But coming through the next 2 corners now, trying to hold ahead of Pitless, just about done that, and now a few laps later, lap 21, it's almost a 4-car train now. As Stone Gymnast and Ludimer have had much better pace than me and Pitless, and I've gone wide through the long right-hander, but just about hold the position. try and cut back to the inside to hold the line, and now running it over the curve and exit, but not spinning. Unfortunately, Pickless has spun though through the. I think he must have lost it on the curve or something, but yeah, either way, he's bottled it and is no longer in fourth, and that's some gymnast up to fourth. And Pickless down to probably, I think, about sixth. I think maybe a bit lower than that, but yeah, that's me in fourth, so I'll take that in third, sorry, with a lot less pressure from behind now. And I'm coming around the last corner. It's going to be a third place finish, which is my first podium since Baku and my first deserved podium since China. So yeah, I'll definitely take that. Third place after doing pretty minimal practice. Unfortunately, the penalty is going to make it. It says I finished fifth, but you can see on the race director here, I've got 10 seconds. Stubborn Gymnast and Leader both had a penalty each. So even if my penalty becomes 3 seconds rather than 10, I'll still finish third. So hopefully when that stewards inquiry is done, I'll be given a third place, which I'll definitely take. My best results in quite a while, as I said, and yeah, I'll take that. Unfortunately for Pickless, he finished sixth. But yeah, Stubborn Gymnast in fourth, and I think Rosie won the race from Ben. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been J3, and I'll see you next time.